What the hell has happened to Project Slayers 2? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be answering the multiple questions people have been asking about Project Slayers 2 and the changes it will have compared to Project Slayers 1. Anyway, to start off, let's talk about the small changes coming to Project Slayers 2, or should I call it Slayers 2? That's right, if you check the Project Slayers Discord or any of its most recent videos, you can actually see they have changed the name from Project Slayers 2 to Slayers 2. Now, I'm not sure if it will stay like this on release, but I'm pretty sure I have a valid reason on why the title has changed. As seen in Uwops, the creator of Project Slayers' most recent comment on Project Slayers 2, he clearly states PS2, aka Project Slayers 2, is not a complete revamp of Project Slayers 1, but a new game. If you couldn't tell already, this most likely means any data, such as progression or gear, you had in Project Slayers will not be transferred over to Slayers 2. And yes, that most likely means Game Passes too. I'm sure many of you purchased several Game Passes for Project Slayers, me included, and are probably annoyed by Uwop's decision when it comes to data transfer. However, with Uwop saying that Slayers 2 is going to be less like a Project Slayers revamp, but more so its own game, it makes sense for it to not transfer the data over. That being said, it's still pretty annoying that you'll most likely have to repurchase every new Game Pass that comes out, if you plan on doing so. Don't threat, as that single announcement that Uwop made is, as far as I'm aware, the only confirmation we have that data will not be transferred over to Slayers 2, essentially meaning there still could be hope that Game Passes are transferred over. However, I'm leaning more to this side that they won't. Next, let's talk about all confirmed briefings and BDAs we know will either be revamped or newly added to Slayers 2. First, let's start with all confirmed movesets we know will 100% be added upon release. Number 1, Thunder Breathing. In Uwop's latest video, he showcased Zenitsu's ever-beloved Thunder Breathing style. With each move fully finished, this means without a doubt Thunder Breathing will be added to Slayers 2 on release. Number 2. Following Zenitsu's breathing style, Nezuko's Blood Demon Art, Explosive Blood, also got a showcase. With each move being fully displayed, we can confirm this BDA is going to be obtainable upon release. Number 3. A completely new breathing style that wasn't in the original game, Serpent Breathing. As usual, we have seen a full showcase of all the moves, meaning this breathing style will most likely be obtainable on release. I'll probably be choosing this one as my main though. I mean, this one's sick. Serpent Breathing. At number 4, we have Arrow BDA. This is my personal favorite Blood Demon Art, so I'm ecstatic it will be available on release. Seriously, this Blood Demon Art is underrated. The whole concept, everything, it's sick. Can't wait for this one to come out. Number 5, we have Insect Breathing. And honestly, before I decided to make this video, I had no idea Uwop even showcased this style. Hopefully, it will be slightly better than the old Insect Breathing. After all, it is one of the most visually pleasing breathings in all of Demon Slayer. Before I continue, if you want to see the full versions of these breathing showcases, I will link Uwop's channel in the description, but I recommend watching the entire video before you do so. May miss out on some major news. 6th, we have Obi Manipulation, Daki's Blood Demon Art. Once again, one of my personal favorites, and I'm glad I will finally be able to use a decent BDA instead of a random Reaper Blood Demon Art. I mean, that guy was in like one episode of Demon Slayer. He did not deserve a BDA in Project Slayers. At 7th, we have Blood Sickles. This was the first BDA showcased on Uwop's channel meant for Slayers 2, and honestly, for the first sneak it looks amazing. However, Blood Sickles is one of my least favorite BDAs, so I will not be picking this up. Finally, for the confirmed breathing/BDAs to be added on release that we know of so far, is Water Breathing. While we haven't gotten a full showcase, Uwop just recently stated Water Breathing will be showcased on December the 5th. Now it's time for the ones that could possibly be obtainable upon release. There are only 2 realistic spots for this category, and that's Love and Stone Breathing. This is due to both of them being showcased just before Project Slayers 1 was cancelled. And seeing Obi was only just showcased before the cancellation of Project Slayers 1, yet has been confirmed for Slayers 2, it's realistically these two will also be added alongside with it. Finally, we have all BDAs/breathings that haven't been talked about enough for us to fully understand whether they will be added on release. However, seeing that they are in Project Slayers 1, they should still count as possibilities. And these are Wind, Flame, Mist, Beast, Shockwave, Dream Manipulation, Ice, Reaper, and Sound. Now, I might have missed one or two, so let me know down in the comments if I did. I'll go more into detail about the small things being added to Slayers 2 in a separate video. But for now, it's time we tackle the most complicated and frequently asked questions when it comes to Slayers 2. When will it release? I couldn't find any screenshots that relate to the things I'm about to say, but if you really want to, you can fact check me if I get anything wrong down in the comments. Now, I'm sure many of you are going to be disappointed by this, but Slayers 2 will most likely not be releasing this year. It was in fact intended to release around this time of year. However, it's clear Uwap just isn't ready. Unless he pulls something out of his bag, it's unlikely Slayers 2 will be finished by the end of this year. Obviously, I don't want to clickbait any of y'all by saying it will release this year, so I'll give the rough estimate of when it will be releasing. I've gathered this information by searching large and wide for a definite answer to this question. However, it seems all I've been able to find are rough estimates. If anyone knows a confirmed release date for Slayers 2, please let me know. However, it's time for the rough estimate of when Slayers 2 will be releasing, and that is summer 2026. One more thing I want to add before I finish this video is that this is my first video back in like a year. So if it's a little scrappy, if it's a little bad, it's a little poorly edited, I'm sorry about that. And if anyone used to watch me before I just left YouTube, let me know if you want me to keep this wacky AI voice or if I should go back to my old one. Anyway, thank you for watching, sticking all around to the end. Let me know if you guys have anything to know about Project Slayers 2 release in the comments. And thank you for watching.